Hello. The final trump card in the tarot deck, number 21, is the universe. Is it also the ultimate question? What exactly is the universe? The star-populated vastness that surrounds us, and the tiny planet we inhabit. I think the ultimate question goes a bit deeper. As I have said in an earlier podcast, being itself seems to be the ultimate question, metaphysically. Why anything at all? Then, considering that we must admit existence is, the next question must be, how can we be aware of this existence and even pose the first question? Well, that is because we are conscious beings, sensing, reflecting, thinking, wondering, measuring, and calculating. Yes, true. But what is consciousness? This capacity that enables our thinking. In my opinion, the fact that we are conscious beings wearing physical bodies in a physical universe strongly suggests that the universe itself is consciousness, not only conscious, but an expression of consciousness emanating, coagulating into what we perceive as matter, since being of such matter ourselves. Thus, this is how it goes. The ultimate question must be being. Why anything at all? I have tried to answer this in the previous podcast, so here is the next. What is consciousness? This mysterious thing that enables us to observe a universe. Without this capacity, there would be no universe, not for us at least. May this indicate that to us the existence of the universe depends on our conscious observation of existence. This is an intricate approach to reality, to the universe and to being itself. It is my point of view that it is entirely interdependent. There is no this or that. It is all. Truly, there is even more. Beyond the reach of our ordinary consciousness, far beyond our limited senses, even as expanded by the reach of a multitude of instruments. Reality also surpasses all our intelligent and intellectual capacities, so we need a different path or approach. Limited by matter, our material bodies, our capacities are also materially limited to perceive and sense only that which falls within the material world. We observe matter based on constellations of subatomic particles from atoms to stars and galaxies. We have been stargazing for millennia and atom-gazing for a century and more. Yet all we see is a material world. Is there nothing beyond matter? Let us revisit the current idea about how it all came about, the so-called Big Bang. I have already discussed this bang and its presumed beginning as quantum fluctuations going amok. This bang is considered the beginning not only of matter, but of space and time itself. It is the hyperluminous rush into material being in a frame of four-dimensional spacetime. Mathematical calculations take the physical world down to just fractions of a second after this initial cause. It remains to question whether mathematics is not just fulfilling the various hypothetical data entered into its equations. Is it enough to calculate the observed expansion of the material universe down to a most elusive singularity? I think not. It is far too materialistic an approach. Not only does it imply that immense quantities of matter came into being from nothing, it also presupposes that space expanded into being at the same time. And then it takes it to the question, what is space? First, into what did space expand? What actually is space? Considering the universe as space containing all we can observe, Stars, galaxies, billions of light years away. What is it really? We consider space an empty room of three perpendicular dimensions. Let us tentatively accept that idea. This three-dimensional space is, according to astronomical observations, expanding, or at least objects in the space are moving away from our position with speeds greater the farther away they are. They are moving in this space, but does this imply that space itself is blowing up like a balloon? If space itself expands, there must be space into which it has room to expand. Not only so, it must have an expanding edge. And this takes me back to Zeno's question. What would happen to a javelin if I throw it against this edge? Would it pass through and disappear, or just bounce back? A funny question to ask in these post-Einsteinian relativity times. Still interesting. The point is that we do not have a clue. Not the faintest idea about how this is, and even mathematics, however well it works, is based on material observations, presuppositions and hypotheses. Complicating it all enters time. What exactly is time? According to modern relativity theory, it is not a fixed measure. It is flexible depending on various factors such as speed and gravity. It is even considered to cease beyond the so-called event horizon of black holes due to the gravity. Time is also considered to be a fourth dimension, like as if our three-dimensional space moves in an outside, not observable fourth dimension. This then would also constitute a hyperspace beyond the universe as we know it. This is highly speculative, of course, but so is also modern cosmology. Here is an image from modern cosmology. Gravity bends both time and space. It creates waves in space-time. But waves in what dimension? May gravity be just another dimension? The fifth? I suppose you are now able to think a bit and be a little bit confused. The universe no longer seems to be just a vast space full of stars and galaxies. There are depths beyond the obvious and the observable, and they are difficult to imagine. Surely, you are not able to visualize even a fourth perpendicular to the dimensions of the room where you are sitting. It is barely possible in geometrical mathematics. So then, just try a fifth one. Then now we stretch your imagination even further. Say there was a Big Bang taking place some 13.5 million years ago. First, what kind of measure is that? Time is elastic, science says. Then it must have been entirely different at the point of the singularity's bottomless gravity, if it ever existed. To me, this remains an open question, especially according to my view that matter is a condensate of eternal and unlimited consciousness, the essence of being. Now let us drop the idea of the universe as an expanding balloon, a space blowing itself up in a field of nothingness. Let us consider absolute limitless space, a space which absolutely has no beginning or end, a space where there is no difference between 1 centimeter and 1,000 kilometers, has no meaning. A space where the center is everywhere and nowhere at the same time. Let us consider, in the same way, no beginnings, no ends, a second or a millennium being meaningless measures. Suddenly all points of reference in both space and time are gone, and you have entered a void, which is also a plenum. Such experience is not only bewildering, confusing, it is terrifying. Yet this is where you have to go to see the deeper connections. Only it takes a lot of experience to get used to it. However, it should not discourage you if you wish a deeper reach into reality of both your being and that of the universe. And this is where the clue is. All our normal day-to-day references are found within the framework of matter, space, and time. We observe space between separate objects and time between events. All is bound to movement as we as well as objects move within time and space. Materially define our experience of the world. It is basic to our survival as biological creatures in a material world, and to our orientation within this frame. Most of humanity are just happy with things as they are. It enables a normal life. I am only a disturbance, challenging you to reach a bit deeper. To my experience, a deeper understanding of life, of my own being, as well as that of the universe that surrounds me and the conscious cosmos encompassing all, gives a richness to living that surpasses all joys that material objects are able to give. It simply teaches me to consider the material as a flimsy shell, enabling my temporal existence on this planet, presently as a human being. My disturbing challenge will take you even beyond the void I just described, into an even more unimaginable void where dimensions of consciousness will tear you into shreds, and take your ego into a land of total oblivion in order for you to become aware of the cosmos and become a human with insight as a truly conscious being. My challenge will take you out of the material universe, into the ultimately dimensionless cosmos, through yourself, through your individual consciousness, into unknowingness, beyond concepts and the most abstract and mathematical terms you may see what the universe is. It is all your own choice to go along.